how I'm gonna be using a HELOC to make a couple $100,000 in just about a year. Stick around if you wanna get the game plan. See you on the other side. All right guys, so like I mentioned in this video, I'm gonna show you how I'm using real estate to build more wealth, but more specifically using my HELOC to increase the value of one property, to increase the value of that property and potentially make me a couple $100,000 in equity. I'm gonna show you how I do it because there's certain ways you can do it which are right and other ways they can completely screw you. I don't want you to get screwed. So that's why you're watching this video. I'm gonna walk you through it. But before we jump into it, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Patrick Long. I'm a licensed real estate agent as well as an investor out here in Hawaii, helping buyers, sellers, and investors with their real estate needs. If you guys have any questions or just wanna connect, feel free to contact me. Got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on my social media platforms. So with that being said, let's jump into how am I actually going to leverage real estate, to buy more real estate and make more money? Well, let's get into it. So what I'm gonna be leveraging is called a HELOC. HELOC stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. Now, what is a HELOC? A HELOC is when you have actual equity in a home you own. You can go to the bank and they will give you money based on the equity you have in your home. So let's run that in a scenario. If you buy a home for $500,000, you owe $500,000 on it. You pay off a certain amount. Let's just keep the number simple. Say it's still $500,000, use the VA loan, what have you. And now the equity has gone up to $600,000. You now have $100,000 in equity. You could technically go to the bank and say, hey, Mr. Bank, I actually have equity in my home and I want to borrow money on that equity. I don't want to sell it and cash out. I want to hold on to it because it's a great asset and it's making me money. And I want to pull cash out. And they'll say, sure, we'll give you 70 to 80% of the equity in your property in the format of a HELOC, which is kind of like a credit card. So basically they'll say, hey, here's $70,000 or $80,000. We'll give you certain terms on it, which it'll be a certain interest rate, which is interest rate only, not on the principal is the payment. So it's pretty low, but you need to have an exit strategy on how you're gonna pay that off. So we'll discuss that later. And when you're shopping for these HELOCs, generally what I suggest is call all your local credit unions. They usually have the best rates, and be careful with the type of terms. You really need to pay attention to the terms. They're generally going to be adjustable right off the bat. I would not suggest those ones. Those ones are scary. Or they will sometimes have promotional rates where they'll say, hey, we'll give you this rate for the first 3 years or the first 5 years. And then after that, it becomes adjustable. That's the one you want, because that one allows you time to do what you need with the money and then later pay it off with the creative strategy, which I'll show you later. So that is the HELOC, that's how it works. Now let's put this into concept of how I'm gonna use it to increase the value of a property and make me a couple $100,000. So I've got my HELOC on this place, and what I'm doing is I'm going to pull out $250,000. I'm gonna use that money for construction. I've just recently purchased a property here in Kailua. It's pretty much a tear down for $1 million. And I'm going to put $250 into it. And the value of it, after I analyzed it, is going to be about $1.55 million. That is a lot of equity that we're gonna build into it. So I bought it for $1 million. I'm putting $250,000 into it. I'm in $1.25 million. And at the low end, it's gonna be worth 250 grand more than that, 1.5. So that's $250,000 of equity. So that is the equity that I'm building. But now your question is, well, how are you going to pay off that other HELOC? That is the beauty, my friend, is the timing of the market. And that's why if you watch my market update that I just made right up here, I utilized a couple different strategies to set myself up for success, and also kind of keeping an eye on what's going on in the market and what's going on with interest rates, because that's very important when you're factoring in how you're gonna pay that off and how you're gonna do this next step, which is called a cash out refi. So there's many ways you can leverage your property to get money. You can do a HELOC like we discussed before, or you can do a cash out refi, which is what I'm gonna do on my second property. And what I'm gonna do on the second property is, because I see that interest rates are coming down and I'm confident that they're gonna continue to come down, what I'm actually going to do is I purchased this property with what we call a 2-in-1 buy down. I have a video right here that goes over what a 2-in-1 buy down is, but to summarize it, what I basically was able to do was I was able to take my rate that I had at 6.75 and bring it down to 4.75 for the first year, 5.75 for the second year, and 6.75 for the third year. So not only did I get this property at $1 million, which is pretty much a tear down, but I was able to have my monthly payments for the first year be 4.75. And then the second year, it'll be 5.75. and by the third year, it'll be 6.75. But my plan of action is to increase the value of the property, and when rates come down, as we are already seeing them happen, it'll most likely get below that third rate that I'll have, and I will refinance, lock in that low rate, and then say, hey, Mr. Bank, look how nice my house is. It's not worth 1 million anymore, it's worth 1.5. And they're gonna say, you're right, you have $500,000 of equity in that. Would you like to pull out any cash of that equity and we can just roll into your loan? And I'm gonna say yes. I would like $250,000 in cash. Please give that to me. Give me a new loan with a lower interest rate. I'm gonna take that $250,000, pay off the HELOC. Now the HELOC is paid off. I have a brand new home that's worth $1.5 million. And I have one payment that is now most likely going to have a lower interest rate. It's a beautiful thing. So this is the HELOC hack, how I'm using it to build equity and build some cash reserves for myself and my family, and leveraging the HELOC to do so. And this, guys, is why real estate can be so powerful. It's all about getting your first home, building equity in it, and using it as a bank to build more wealth and build a larger portfolio for yourself. Well, that is pretty much it. If you want to learn how to do something similar or just interested in real estate specifically out here in Hawaii, feel free to reach out to me. Got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. And if you got any value out of this video, because it does take me a lot of time to actually make these videos, do me a huge favor, smash that like button, click the subscribe and the notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. That pretty much wraps it up. I'm Patrick with PatrickFlowingRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.